Hello, my name is Debbie Reynolds. They call me the Data Diva. Today I want to talk about data privacy and data purpose jacking. This is what I'm going to call it now. So data purpose jacking, in my view, is when you sign up for an app or application, maybe you do or do not read the terms of service, but at some point during the time where you are using this service, they are doing different things. They're changing either the service that they're offering or they're changing how they're managing your data. One example of data purpose jacking happened recently over the last couple years with a application called EverAlbum. So EverAlbum was a cloud photo service where people could store their photos in the cloud. The problem with EverAlbum is that they decided that they would take the photographs that people put on the cloud and decide they wanted to do facial recognition with it. So they basically took that information, developed algorithms to do facial recognition with that stuff. They also did some data scraping where they had taken data from public sources and tried to match it up with individuals and possibly sell that information. So EverAlbum got into some hot water with the FTC over this, partially because of false claims where they didn't really explain to individuals what they were doing or what they were changing about how they were possibly using their data. As a result, the FTC ordered EverAlbum to delete the data, which I think that part was expected, but they did two other things that were very shocking to people. The other thing they did is that they asked or had the company delete any derivative works. So this is very interesting because a lot of times when companies get into these types of hot water, they don't typically are not asked to delete the derivative works or derivative data, because sometimes people consider that even if it has someone's personal data in it, it's kind of the invention of the company. So that was very shocking. The other shocking thing that happened with this company is that they also ordered them to delete the algorithms that they created as a result, which was very concerning. So this particular issue that came up with this company is concerning to a lot of companies as they're developing algorithms and AI, knowing that the FTC has set this new precedent where they may be asking them to delete their derivative works and also possibly their algorithms. So I think it's very important that companies take seriously the claims they make about how they're using an individual's data, and also especially if a company is changing the way that the data is being used beyond sort of what the initial purpose of the data use is. This is a wide open area because obviously companies can make those changes, but if those changes are made and they're too drastic and they could possibly sort of be misconstrued as deceptive in some way, this can be a big problem for a company. So I'm anxious to see how this plays out. I know a lot of people in the US who follow these things were really shocked by this particular thing with EverAlbum. EverAlbum is no longer in business right now. One of the other things they got in trouble for was keeping data beyond an individual's account. So let's say an individual said they wanted to close their account and EverAlbum was keeping that data. So that's another issue that's sort of out there where not all companies have to delete data depending on the countries they're in. Obviously you have to do it in the EU, but that's still sort of an open question in the US. So it remains to be seen how this is going to play out in the future, but I think this is something that businesses really need to pay attention to, especially as they may be changing the way that they're offering services or what they're doing with consumer data. That's it. Thank you.